What's up everyone, Wolfman here, back at it again with another LEGO Star Wars review. And today I am doing a review on Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. Which one, if anyone may be asking? Because there have been quite a number of different versions of Obi-Wan's Starfighter dating back to the early 2000s since Episode 2, ironically, when the concept of Jedi Starfighters were first introduced. And this one is actually from Episode 2, or based off from that one, and it's actually another Delta 7, as what I had mentioned, had done other reviews on both Plo Koons, Mace Windu's, and CC-10s, and now this is the last one that I have. But which one is it going to be? Well, you got to tune into, well, you're going to keep watching to find out. But before I do, just another quick reminder of the approaching review of my Grand Fleet, including the Starfighters I've been reviewing as of late, or for the past, or several days, I guess, at this point. And this one is actually the second to last of the Clone Wars era Starfighters. I got one more, which is going to be Anakin's Jedi Starfighter, and you will find out what that one's going to be in the next review, which I'll be doing. And if anyone who happens to be new, please come and join the Wolfpack if you want to see more of this stuff by hitting the subscribe button down below, and I will be saying that again at the end of the video. And I believe without any further ado, onto the review. And here it is, set number 75333, Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. And this is actually the most recent one. This set was actually released this year of 2022. It has 282 pieces and comes with 3 minifigs. All 3 of these figures are unique to this set, and we'll start with them. Starting off with Obi-Wan Kenobi himself, and he is double face, and we'll show you in here in just a minute. He also comes with a hood, which he used in Episode 2, and for the first time ever, a Kaminoan. This one happens to be Tan Wee, who makes her Lego figure minifig debut, and this is definitely well worth the wait. Given that I think the first time the Kaminoans were introduced was 2 decades ago, and of course, last but not least, the astromech. Hang on just a second. R4P17, the red-headed astromech. And as you can see in the photo here, I have a close-up and as well as Obi-Wan with his hood on, and the 2 options of his faces that he has. Of course, he's the only one that is double face. Of course, he does come with the wig and of course the hood. He does have his blue lightsaber, and that's basically it. And as far as the astromech R4, fairly unique. I mean, this is actually, just to get into the lore a little bit, this actual droid, its head was actually a part of the Starfighter itself. It did not have its own body. It was basically a part of the Jedi Starfighter, but they decided to change things up with this guy. I think this is the second time they've done it with this particular droid. And of course, for well over a decade, they've carried on the dome head design on this figure, along with past other minifigures, but they keep changing things up a little bit. I think just depending on which Star Wars genre, like say Clone Wars, Episode 2, Episode 3, Rebellion era, I think they just keep changing things up for the dome designs on the astromechs themselves. But anyways, real quick on Tan Wee. Well done on the designs. I mean, she definitely looks like a Kaminoan, and this is the only set where you can actually get the set. And it's actually quite the easy minifigure to acquire, given the price of the set, which is a $30 set. So it's very easy to get this kind of minifigure, and I'm actually quite pleased with the design. And there is detailing on the back as well, as you've seen in the photo before. And it'd be interesting to see if they actually decide to extend on with more Kaminoans. I mean, I would actually love to see the Prime Minister of Kamino, and at least one other Kaminoan, which was featured in both the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch. So I can't remember that character's name, but I'm starting to grow a soft spot for that character, even though she's quite the ice cold Kamanon. But anywho, I like the designs, I like the coloring on these minifigures, just really well done. And we'll just get those guys out of the way and onto the Starfighter itself. And I gotta say, for a Starfighter its size, it was actually quite the fun build. And if you've seen my last review on CC10's Jedi Starfighter, they have carried on the dome design for the cockpit, which I absolutely love. This is a better substitute for any other cockpit, and since I have it open, here's a look on the inside. Does it have studs? It does. If you can, yeah, right there you can see the studs where Obi-Wan can actually be placed in. You got the control panel right there, and of course the complete seat with a headrest of all things, which I don't recall they've actually done it for other Starfighters, especially ones of this design. And unfortunately, unlike CC10's, this cockpit does not detach. But once again, they carried on using this particular piece for the tail fin, which is awesome because this thing is well sturdy. And of course, they added a few new pieces like this kind of piece, which actually makes it a little more smaller, looks more nimble. And I don't have any real complaints. I kind of miss the big design, but other than that, this is a well put together Starfighter. It does have stickers, and I'm sorry I've never mentioned any of that kind of stuff before in any of the other Jedi Starfighters, but this sucker did come with some sticker attachments, quite a handful, but no real complaints. One other playability on this sucker has are stud shooters, or these specific types of stud shooters. I'm sorry I do not have anything in them, but you basically load them in here, just a simple stud or the round studs preferably, and you just push down that and it flicks the studs right on out, and the sucker comes with two of them, which is a neat touch. And it does come with landing gear, only one though, just for the nose. Of course, you got this peg down here, which adds as a rear landing gear, and of course you got the engine thrusters as well. Just turn it back overhead, and they really changed things up. I mean, they made it more narrower, which the Jedi Starfighter traditionally, I believe, is supposed to be small, agile, and very nimble. So, and it has this very designed to have a very small profile, and this one definitely carries on with that. Of course, there actually is another feature that this sucker has, and I may as well show you guys anyways. You can actually detach the droid's head, or R4's head, and you can actually connect it to the side there. If you didn't notice that before, the connecting piece that actually permits the droid's head to actually move around. But if you hadn't noticed this piece here, of course there is one on the other side here. There is actually a purpose behind that, and one feature that they did put in, of course, was actually really neat. You can actually stash the body by removing this, and I've actually used it to store the satellite, or the communication dish connected right there, and you can stick the astromech's body right inside this slot, and you can just seal it up, and it's just out of sight, out of mind. Now, if anyone who has seen Attack of the Clones, which I highly recommend because it's actually well done, aside from the poor dialogue, in the scene where Obi-Wan is contacting the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, twice in a row, both on Kamino and Geonosis, he had the droid deploy a communication dish. Of course, this doesn't really retract, which, who cares? I mean, I don't, if I'm being honest. This sucker can actually be attached here. It actually does have posability. It can go full 360 degrees. It can angle it to mimic the scene from Attack of the Clones to basically send a transmission out. And of course, I believe you can do the same thing on the other side. I mean, they made it pretty even, but I think that's the long and the short of it, really. And I really gotta say, this Starfighter was a really fun build, and I actually had no intentions of getting this. I just didn't really care that much, but I was like, oh, what the heck? I mean, it's just another Delta 7, and I actually have a soft spot, and it's a much more updated version of Obi-Wan's Delta 7. I mean, like I said at the beginning of the video, they've done a handful of Obi-Wan's Delta 7s. In fact, I think the last one they did, it came with a Jedi, a boost or hyperspace ring, like the one that was used in Attack of the Clones, and they even did it again in Episode 3. I mean, Obi-Wan had 2 Jedi Starfighters. Both of them were Ectus 2s. The first one was a red one, which they've done, I think, maybe 3 or 4 times. I never got any of them, which regrettably I never got. But he loses the first one over the Battle of Coruscant to rescue the Chancellor along with Anakin Skywalker. So the next time he gets into a Jedi Starfighter is when he goes up to Utapau. He gets in an Ectus 2, which is a different color. So yeah, I think those are the only 2 iterations of Obi-Wan's Ectus 2s. One of which I did get, not the red one, but the dark purple one from Episode 3, which I will not be doing a review on, sadly. But as far as the Delta 7s, they've done a handful. I think most of them, including this one, were prominently featured from Attack of the Clones, and I actually do have the first one, which I have modified since. So it's not, I wouldn't consider it Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter anymore. But you will see that one in the Grand Fleet review. But I believe other than that, I think that may be it for the review. And I actually would highly recommend this set. It is still available in retail, so I would recommend getting this. If not for nostalgia and anyone who's an Episode 2 fan like I am, or if you really want to get your hands on an actual Kaminoan minifigure, then I actually would recommend this set. I mean, this is a well put together set, so definitely go and get it. So that was my review on Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. And once again, I am going to say it, if you like that video, please feel free to leave a like and come join the Wolfpack by hitting the red subscribe button down below if you want to see more of my reviews. And definitely tune into my review on my Grand Fleet, which is going to consist of several different starfighters and starships from the Clone War era to the Rebellion and Imperial era, and even the First Order and Resistance era as well, and any other starships in between. And I believe, like I said at the start of the video, this is the second to last the Republic era starfighters. I got one more, and it is Anakin Skywalker's Jedi Starfighter. Which one? You'll have to tune in to check to see for sure on which one that would be. And I believe all that's left for me to remind you that Jesus loves you more than Elmo and Barney, and I'll see you guys next time.